This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Rajni Jain on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. I'd like to welcome you all to this online meeting. Please take a moment to review the guidelines for this online meeting posted in the chat window. We need to introduce the speaker and start the meeting. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lakshmipati and I will be moderating this meeting. Let's welcome Mr. Abhishek Patel, the scientist at ICAR Central Arid Zone Research Institute in Bhuj, Gujarat. Mr. Abhishek Patel will be speaking on the topic, how can you use rainwater harvesting on your farm? I now request the speaker to begin.
Okay, thank you for kind introduction. And I'm Abhishek Patel, and I am welcoming all of you from Kajri, which is ICR Institute. And today I am delivering a seminar on how we can use rainwater harvesting at our farm for agriculture purposes. So first begin with let's begin with the that we know the major source of water on earth is a rainfall, and the science of study the rainfall and its circulation on the earth is called hydrology, which help us to quantify different components of rainwater, that it goes from it falls on the earth as a rainfall, then goes through the streams as a runoff and recharge the groundwater. So they are different components, and there are different components in hydrological cycle like evaporation, transpiration. If we calculate the total amount of water falling as a precipitation on the earth, it counts around 1,20,000 kilometer cube. That is a huge amount, and out of which 42,000 kilometer cube water goes into stream as a runoff, and 22,200 as goes as groundwater recharge. So combinedly, we are having this steam water as well as groundwater for our uses. And seeing on the population of the world, we are having 7.7 billion right now. And by dividing the total water availability to the per capita, we are having 5,800 meter cube per annum for a person of the world. But when we see another face of a coin, that we are facing so much problem. We are from 1947, the per capita water availability was 6,000, but now in 2020-21, we are having only one fourth of that, reaching towards a scare condition. And you might have been seeing different news that some states are drying up, and there are so much problems related to the water. And let's see this example that it is showing Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Andhra Pradesh managing water resources effectively in 2018. But what happened next year? That it says Gujarat facing massive water crisis. In 1 year only, the complement become as a critic to the state. So what is happening in this resources, that we are having ample amount of water in the past, but we are facing lots of problems. There are also, this is not a state problem, this is an all India problem. India is not prepared for water crisis, and we are continuously lacking the water resources. So the major rivers also being drying up. So that is a very concerning topic of today, that we have to use the water efficiently. This much amount of water we are having, and if theoretically we are having 5,000 meter cube of water per capita, but we are facing such problems. So that simply means that we are somehow wasting our resources, we are wasting our water, we are wasting our major source of water, that is rainwater. So we have to go from here to better utilization of the water. So if we use the water, we have to, if you want to use the water effectively, we have to store it. Then before storing, we have to collect it. So this is a basic concept of rainwater harvesting, that we collect, then we store, then we use our water. So we move from water wasting to the water harvesting. So water harvesting nothing but just collect the rainwater at particular storage and use it whenever it is required, or whenever there is lean period of the rainfall. This is not a new concept. It's a very old and traditional one. In literature or somewhere we found that around 4,000 or 5,000, even more than 5,000 years ago, we are using such technologies worldwide, not in India, but worldwide. India also, we are having some lots of such type of technologies. So, what will be the motto behind this? If we are, why we should store the water? Because as we know, the sustainability goal are we have to reach our sustainability goals. So, by accumulating water, we can we can find the insert or clean water. With that, we will be having the good health. Then industrial also, then infrastructure. Then we can come back with climate change actions. And so there are so many goals, sustainable goals related to the water. And I think water is a very basic component of all these goals and human existence. First of all, we have to discuss about rainwater utilization and rainwater harvesting. Why not we can say that okay, water is falling on ground and it is storing in soil, and water it is storing soil itself. Why we do not call it rainwater harvesting? Because it is a for temporal basis and it is not so efficient. So water collect water in rainwater utilization. Of course, water is stored at natural slope, but in rainwater harvesting, we construct some structure. We allow some structure to store the water and check the different losses. Then, if in rainwater utilization, the soil voids are available for storage, which are only available for the plant, but not for other uses. And the in first case, the use of rainwater is instant, but in rainwater harvesting, we can use at the lean period also. Efficiency is also lower in rainwater utilization, but it is can be improved in rainwater harvesting. So rainwater harvesting system having such majorly three components, that is collection, number second is storage, and number third is water supply. So, if we want to construct rainwater harvesting system, the first one we have to collect. We have to collect the water from these type of structures. If there are already pre-made structures like roof and courtyard, which are generally used in that domestic purposes, that roof water we can store. So this will be catchment area for the domestic rainwater harvesting. But when we go for the larger area, we have to find out the larger area means some paved surface or highway or our agriculture field. So there are natural slope also, we can use the rainfall from where the earth slope and rocky slope. But these type of earth slope has basic their limitation and advantage as well. Suppose if we are in the humid regions, we can use earth slope as water from earth slope as well, because the soil erosion will be less in there, and normal vegetation is will be available, which check the erosion. But in arid region, we have to construct some lining, so that we can reduce the erosion from the top to the bottom of the hill. Or so there are some basic limitation and basic advantages of such type of uh, harvesting system. Nowadays, researchers are focusing on water collection from the greenhouses, roof, and as solar panel also. So these type of technologies are emerging out for the cost effectiveness of the rainwater harvesting system, or collection, improving the efficiency of the system. Furthermore, the rainwater storage. So as we discussed, there are domestic and farm rainwater harvesting system. For domestic purposes, we do not require large amount of water. So we can store water in a rubber bags or poly bags or such type of tanks which are available in market. But when we go for the agriculture purposes, we have to construct some underground surfaces, underground tanks or surface tanks of larger capacity. And there are you might be seeing some ponds which are lined or polythene lined or concrete lined or barely just dig a pond and we store the water. But the efficiency and cost and all these things are basic behind this. Which type of structure we have to use and how much amount of water we want to store will determine the storage capacity of our system. There are some auxiliary facilities without which the system will not work efficiently. Although we can collect the water from surfaces, but we have to use in agriculture field such type of facilities so that we can improve our efficiency. Otherwise, our storage tank will be muddied or it will be silted with so many sand or soil particles. So there are some facilities or units we can see that sealing basin. From in this the water comes from this side and water reduce its speed because this zigzag path and the bigger soil particle or sand particle gets settled down in this and the somewhat clearer water goes into the uh, storage system. Furthermore, if we want to more purification or more filtration of that water, the gravel sand filter we can use here. In this type of system, the water is poured out from the top and taken out from the bottom, so that the minor soil particle or sand particle which is being carried by the water are filtered here. And furthermore, if we want some more cleanliness of the water so that our system will be safe from muddiness or our water will be clean, somewhat cleaner than without using such facilities. So we can use screen, a fine mesh screen, so water quality will be improved. If we if we see further that what the how we can decide the dimension of our harvesting structure. So the harvesting structure design or capacity is basically demand driven. How much quantity we want to store or how much quantity we will be requiring in a future or lean period. That will be a basic concept behind the capacity of the storage structure. Although the rainfall and the area and other component also, but I think this is a basic demand driven dimensioning system in which we have to decide how much amount we want to utilize in domestic purposes and how much amount it will be required for irrigation purposes. If in domestic purposes calculation, if we see different domestic activities like sanitation, cleaning, washing, even for drinking and number of persons of a family, then we can design our capacity for that domestic purposes also. If we want to go for irrigation purposes, that will our demand will be based on the how which type of crops you want to grow in that field, how much area it will be covering in your field. If different crops are there and different area by one crop is covered, then you have to decide the crop water requirement based on the temperature, rainfall and climatical factor of that field or that area or region. Similarly, in domestic animal purposes, the for drinking of the drinking for the drinking of for animals and their sanitation, the demand will be calculated by their per animal. We know the number of animal and we know the demand from per animal demand. So we can calculate the whole demand and simultaneously we can go for all three components and design our storage capacity. So this is a basically demand driven activity. Anyhow, for quantification of different terms related to the collection and storage, that we have to focus on basic term like security with that is reliability of the rainfall. how much times we are getting a good quantity of rainfall, so that the storage capacity that we are going to design will be fulfilled by the run of water. So the as literature says, or scientifically, if we talk about that, reliability must be greater than zero point 0.8, or the probability of the rainfall to be occur with good amount should be 0.8 should be zero point 0.8 or 80%. 80% of the time the rainfall should be a good amount. Then rainfall runoff coefficient. This is a basic that if X amount of rainfall is going to be occur, then whole amount will not go for a storage, because there are some losses. There will be groundwater recharge, and there will be some evaporation and transpiration losses as well. So we have to find out the how much quantity of particular rainfall is going to be converted in a runoff, that we can store, not fully. If we want to go for full storage, then we can, but we have to convert it as our demand basis. So we can design our storage capacity. Then assessment of rainfall, that is a design rainfall is somewhat that the maximum rainfall that will occur after particular time, we have to prepare for that if we are going to completely store the rainwater. If not, then we do not worry about this is not that much concerning in that case. So we have to consider this long term. Then basically big structures, they generally or they necessarily include this particular parameter in their designing purposes. Then catchment area, we have to calculate how much area will be required for our capacity or demand satisfaction. And which, if there are two or three type of area, some is concrete land, some is agricultural land, or some is roof land, then how much area from how much part from which area we have to take in rainwater harvesting, we have to calculate as per our demand. Similarly, rainwater storage, there are sophisticated simulation models which are generally used by developed agriculture farms on daily basis, because there will be some daily inflow to the storage and some daily outflow from the storage to the agriculture. So it will be a very real time. It must be a real time situation to be calculate what is storage at this time. So they should not be lack in the water amount to be irrigated in the field. But in domestic purposes or some small farmers, we basically follow the basic calculation that if we want X 1,000 meter cube of water, then we go for the particular area of a pond, and we will decide what will be the depth of this pond to accumulate this much of water. Similarly, if we go for the circular cylindrical type of storage tank, then there is a basic formula that 2 pi r into h. So we can design our storage tank such that how much width it will be required, how much height it will be required, how much depth area it will be required to store all the water from the harvesting structure. Going for the simplification example, we can calculate the amount of for domestic water utilization, that if we are going for drinking purposes, if we are going for cooking, then personal hygiene, washing, or whatever activity you would like to use that water, you have to find out the amount, basic amount, or suggested amount of water to be used in that activity, and per number of person, how much person you will be conducting that activity. So that on that basis you will be able to find out this much water we will be required in 2 or 3 months in the lean period of the year, when the water rainfall will be not occurring. So we have to store this much water. For this presentation, we will be going for the agriculture purposes. So let's suppose we having zero point 0.8 hectare of the area to be irrigated in our farm, in which 0.7 hectare 0.7 hectare area is wheat grown, so we have to irrigate that wheat, and for 0.05 hectare with vegetables. So with this much area under vegetation and this much area under wheat area. Suppose wheat at the seeding time, when we sow the wheat, we require 50 meter cube per hectare of water at that time. and two more application of the irrigation will be required, each having 90 meter cube per hectare capacity of irrigation. So similarly, for vegetation, we require 14 application. For example, each application of 120 meter cube per hectare of irrigation water. So combinedly, we have to have the first irrigation of 50 meter for wheat and 290 meter cube per hectare irrigation at the growing season, within the growing season. So total amount of this will be a 172 meter cube for this whole period of the wheat. Similarly, for vegetation, for if we are going for to harvest, then obviously the vegetation period will be long, and there will be more water requirement for irrigation for that particular vegetation or group of the vegetables. So the total amount will be requiring 0.8 meter cube for this particular area. So the in net, how much water should be there in our storage? That 170.5 for the wheat irrigation and 84 meter cube for the vegetable vegetation. Moreover, we can add some safety factors of 50 meter cube or 40 meter cube, whatever as per our cost or rainfall or water availability. So we can add somewhat more amount of water, so that if there, because some losses occurs, then we should not fall out with less water in that situation. Otherwise, our crop will be affected. So this is just this was a basic example how to calculate the capacity at our farm level. So if we want to increase our efficiency, suppose we constructed a farm with 10,000, 20,000, how to improve the efficiency of that farm? So as we discussed, we must use this type of unit to filter out major soil particles or sand particles from the water, to separate out all this. So we can effectively collect the water which will be free from major impurities. Then effective storage. We have to really careful about the losses if we go with the without lining pond, that there will be so much losses of percolation from infiltration to the groundwater. So we can do this polythene lining, or moreover, if the budget permits or economic permits, we can make a concrete based pond. Similarly, for reducing the evaporation losses, the previous technologies, somewhere of the part was studied with the metal sheets, but this is very costly. So what they did, we can use this net or sad net or polythene to reduce the evaporation losses. So this is a effective storage, from effective collection to effective storage. Now effective utilization. We cannot go with flooded irrigation. We cannot go with sprinkler irrigation when we are using the rainwater harvested water, because the harvested water itself is very less as per our cost limitation, as per our area limitation, and other limitation also. We are having very less amount of water, so we cannot go with the open flooded water. We have to use such technologies which use less amount of water to irrigate the crop, like drip irrigation, like pressurized irrigation, like micro irrigation, or some locally available irrigation technologies we can adopt to increase the efficiency of irrigation, that is effective utilization of our water. So what we are having at the last of rainwater harvesting, what are the benefits? Otherwise, we will not going for any such type of structure if we are not getting any benefit. So there are several benefits of rainwater harvesting structure. Like we are saving labor, we are saving our money as a labor, because if we are not doing rainwater harvesting, we have to collect water from far more distance, or fetching the water from far more distance. And similarly, water use saving, we save our water because we have our own water as stored in our tank or storage for domestic purposes. So in this link, we reduce our tariff, we reduce our charges for paying for government for the utilization of the water. We reduce the power consumption in irrigation. If we are pumping water from groundwater at the depth of 400 feet, 500 feet, even more 600 feet, in some cases. So the power consumption is very high. In other case, in rainwater harvesting, we have our pond at the surface level. So very less power will be required to irrigate our field. Then supplement irrigation are very critically necessary for at some stage of the time. If rainwater or other water sources are not available, we can use that water, so our crop will not be affected. So in this sequence, our yield will be improved. Furthermore, these are the monetary gains. What about social gains? If we construct a long-term rainwater harvesting structure at community basis at village or at a small town, the water security will be ensured for that village or town. After security of the water, there will be lots of development activity will be occurring there. We can use that pond for recreation, for as a tourist site or whatever. So there will be lots of development with related to this. Then health will be secure because we are having secure water and pure water or quality water. So our health will be improved or community health will be improved. Likewise, education level also will be improved because we have to we see lots of people, lots of families allow their children not to do not allow their children go to school, rather go fetching the water. They have to go far more long to fetch the water. So the education level will also be improved if we connect somehow with this rainwater harvesting sector. Otherwise, also there will be environmental benefits also. There will be food security. Obviously, if crop will be not affected by the irrigation, rainfall, or climate change, then we will be getting the much more yield. So there will be food security for at the national scale also or world level also. There then integrated farming can be allowed. If at if some farmer with the less water availability growing only one crop, do not having any livestock because livestock require more water for drinking. So if he or she store rainwater, he can take some livestock or she can take some livestock to integrate with the cropping system, so that will be improve his or her income as a whole. Similarly, in climate resilience, we will be capable to face different type of climatical um, impact on the agriculture field. We will be able to generate more. We will be able to cope up with more heat or rainfall and temperature adversity. So there will be somewhat climate resilience we will be getting from this. So uh, in as a whole, we will be having some monetary benefit also. We will be having benefits at the social level, and we will be having benefits at the environmental level also. So at the last, I would like to I would like to talk about the subsidies different states are providing. Let's consider this Rajasthan state. They are providing 90,000 for building rupees for building a farm pond. Similarly, government of India also providing water carrying pipes or other rainwater storage structure facility to as a subsidy to the farmers. And these are the some portal, government of Rajasthan portal, where you can apply application for subsidy for farm ponds, as well as in Madhya Pradesh also there are lots of scheme are going on from the state government as well as central government. Similarly, respective states are doing very well in this direction. So whosoever want to go with the subsidy or know about that, they can search the agriculture department of that state or other concerned person to find out the availability of any subsidy in this regard. So thank you. This is all from my side. If there are any questions, you can ask.
Thank you, Mr. Abhishek Patel, for an excellent presentation. I now request the participants to ask their questions. We'll also be posting the speaker's contact details in the chat window. Yes, can you please stop sharing the screen, Mr. Abhishek?
Okay. I'll stop.
Thank you. Participants, please go ahead to ask. Please come up your questions. Yes, can you please indicate by switching on your mic? Would be interesting. Mr. Avdesh Chandra Pati has got a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Avdesh Chandra.
Want to know which option is more viable? Is it
Sorry, you're
method
not
to
audible.
charge?
Avdesh Chandra,
Sorry, there glitches in our audio.
Hello.
yes, Mr. Avdesh.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, can you increase your volume? Yeah,
Which
please go
option
ahead.
is better? Which
Okay.
option is better? Is it pit charging method for the rainwater, or to have pond to rainwater?
Uh,
Which is
Pit
more viable,
recharging is for
practical?
actually pit recharging is for groundwater recharge. We generally do not store and pit recharging. We just allow the
Yes.
water to recharge the groundwater. So if you want to,
Yes.
if there in your area, if their water level is very less, if and you want to increase that, so you just allow in that there is low limitation of storage capacity. So just you have to construct a pit and fill some filtering material, sand, gravel, charcoal, like that, or that will be somewhat economical because there is no concrete required. There is not some reinforcements required, because for larger capacity storage we have to go with larger capacity storage structure. So the economics will be high if we go for large scale. Otherwise, there always will be compromisation with the capacity and the cost. If you want to restrict the cost, you will be having less capacity, or if you have a large lump sum amount, you can go with the larger capacity. So that depend up a particular opinion, that how much quantity of butter you want to store, or how much quantity you want to allow in groundwater recharge.
Because if we are doing at large scale farming activity,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
will need a bigger space to store water.
yeah, yeah. For farming activities, generally farm pond means surface farm ponds are recommended with polythene lining, which is somewhat optimized dimension. You know that polythene is good quality micron polythene is will be able to reduce the losses, and the cost will be also less. And that
Okay.
concrete based.
How much percentage of area you recommend? Ho- How much percentage of area you recommend for the farm pod? Suppose if we
Farm.
have 1 acre farmland, then
But from I think up to 5 to 10% only, because again this is a how which type of crop. If you want the drought tolerant crop, then lesser amount, because farmers do not want their area to waste with some- the thinking of the farmer like now right now is not that much open. So they just do not want much more area to occupy as a pond. So we recommend only 5%, less than 5-10% of that area, so that whatever amount of water will be there, you can use for that.
okay, all right. And how deep it is? It should be.
It depend on capacity. Means once you have the capacity, means how much water you want to store, then area and two dimension only required, then area and height. If you want 2 meter or
No.
10 feet
How
or
deep we can go? How deep we can go?
how deep construction for storage, na storage pond, 3 feet, 4 feet,
Yes.
not
Yes.
maximum for that. 3 meter, 3 meter up to
Okay.
10
Okay.
10
All
10
right.
feet or 12 feet.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Mr. Brito, you have any question? Um, Mr. Mohan? Yes, Mr. Brito, you have anything to ask?
Thank you, Mr.
Welcome.
Lakshmipati. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Abhishek Patel, for a very nice presentation.
Thank you.
What will be the approximate for an average farm, say of 2
Sorry.
acres farm, 2 acres farm, what
Yeah.
will be the cost approximately? Or you can
Uh,
give the rough range.
it varies from means I think it is 80,000 to 1.5 lakh because the material we use, the labor charges vary from side to side. So it depends from 90,000, 80,000 to 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh. That's why the government is providing sometimes 80%, 60% subsidy for farm pond construction. Always.
Mr. Brito?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, right. Mr. Mohan, do you have any question?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Lakshmipati.
Welcome.
And good evening, Mr. Abhishek, and congratulations for an excellent and interesting topic, very useful for our Indian senior farmers. I have a question regarding domestic purpose.
Sorry, your voice is not continuously.
I think it's not my voice. I think some wind is coming from your side.
Okay, okay.
So because I'm in the room, so only the now it is been
Please
arrested.
put on your question. Please raise your question and put off your mic. You'll be able to
Yeah.
hear the answer better.
Yeah. So my question is regarding the domestic for housing sake purpose. If we want to store the rainwater, rain harvesting water, and if we are in a position not to go for the borewell, so which is the best facilities to store the rain harvesting? You mean to say go for the pit type or maybe the concrete laying and then with the pump, etc. Which one is the suitable? If a land doesn't want to go for the borewell project.
Okay, in this case, the underground tank with a concrete line means similarly that we construct for toilet or like that. We construct the underground tank, na. So means this is very suitable because the area will not be occupied by the surface structure or so surface structure, that area will not be lost. So generally the underground tank is constructed with reinforced. In this, reinforcement will be required because side soil pressure will be high, so there will be chances to collapse that tank. So rod reinforcement will be required in this case, and concrete flooring and cementing will be required because if you want to store for longer period of time, there must not be losses or seepage from your stored water. So underground pit with solid construction is recommended for domestic for large capacity.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for the information.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Nayan Mohanty, you have anything to ask? Okay, Miss Poonam, any question, please? Okay, Mr. Rikesh. Yes, Miss
Not
Poonam.
today. Thank you.
Welcome, you're welcome.
It's
Mr.
a wonderful
Rikesh. Yes, Miss Poonam, you wanted to say something?
Sir, I was saying it was a wonderful presentation, very well presented and very nicely put in every possible way. Only thing is, its implementation from a domestic and a commercial perspective. If we could get some more references of who we could approach for any such projects, that would be very useful because most of these sessions cover what is required, but who can do it would be really useful as well.
Mr. Abhishek?
Yeah, actually, in this regard, the state governments have means some that financial assistance. So I just for example I put the Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh government. So if somebody wants at their own and some commercialization, there are many NGOs working in this direction. So they help they help the farmer to construct the pond or like that
Would you
monitoring.
be Would you be able to give me a few names, Abhishek?
Actually, I did not means having right now that much
No worries.
idea of that. But in future, if you want, then you can contact me.
Sure.
Meantime, I will be able to collect the data. Please give your particular location. In which location you want to
We are in, we are in Maharashtra, Mumbai.
Maharashtra, yeah. Actually, because location wise it differs. Somewhere there are so many NGOs working in the direction. Somewhere there are none. There is none. Completely
It's
no
going to
NGO.
really help me because I have a lot of people in my cohort working with the rural
Yeah,
areas.
yeah.
So
Okay.
it'll help us quite a lot.
So
Thank you.
you may contact after 2 or 3 days. I will be able
Done.
to help you. In
Done. Thank
Maharashtra,
you.
na?
Uh,
In
Yes,
Maharashtra.
yeah,
I've sent you
Okay.
a LinkedIn
yeah.
request. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sorry
sir.
to interfere.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ms.
Sorry.
Poonam. Mr. Suraj Sebastian, any question? Mr. Ravi Kumar Reddy?
Hello.
Yes, who is this, please?
Excuse me. I think I'm Dr.
Mr.
Anand Kumar.
Anand Kumar.
So,
Yeah, please go ahead.
I would like to answer this previous question that I think somebody have asked regarding the NGOs who has been working with the conservation of the water or harvesting of the water. So I
Yeah,
would like to
please.
name this Navjyoti India Foundation from the Kiran Bedi. They have done a wonderful job in rainwater harvesting as well. And there is an NGO called Bhumi, then Gramin. So in many, this kind of, they are known NGOs who are working for the water conservation as well as rainwater harvesting. So you can contact these NGOs for further, or you can go to the website, to get a very good details regarding the rainwater
Thank you.
harvesting.
Anand, could you type it in the chat? Thanks so much.
Sure, no problem at all.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Anand Kumar, you are posting the details in the chat window, no? Okay, please go ahead. Mr. Ravi Kumar Reddy, you have any question?
I'll be posting the name of the NGOs in the chat window. I think
Yeah,
my
that's it. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We have come to the end of the question round. I would like to thank the speaker, Mr. Abhishek Patel, on behalf of Agriculture Information for taking his time to speak with us. I now request the organizer of the meeting, Ms. Rajini Jain, to please close the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lakshmi. Thank you, Mr. Lakshmipati. I'd like to thank the speaker, Mr. Abhishek Patel, for taking the time to talk with us. We also like to thank all the participants for their time. The meeting will now be closed.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Abhishek Patel.